So recently there's been a lot of back and forth about Ray Fisher and Warner Brothers and what may or may not have happened on the set of Justice League. So I'm making this video to chronicle everything that's come out about it so far, and maybe speculate about what it means. So Ray Fisher announced on Twitter on July 1st that the overall environment on the set of Justice League reshoots with Joss Whedon was toxic and abusive. The claims were that a lot of the abuse was done by Joss Whedon, which would make sense based on his track record. On top of this, he claimed that producers Geoff Johns and John Berg enabled Whedon and also dished out some abuse of their own. Following this, Ray Fisher announced that Warner Brothers had hired a third party of investigators to investigate the situation and figure out what was up. But then Warner Brothers claimed that Fisher was not cooperating in the investigation, which prompted Fisher to tweet that this was not true and that the investigative team that Warner Brothers had hired was not as third party as they claimed. So let's look at both sides, and let me just tell you right off the bat, this is a case where the true answer lies in the middle. So let's first look at the extremes. If you were rooting for Warner Brothers exclusively, your case would be that Ray Fisher was bitter about his role in the DCEU being reduced and made this whole thing up as a giant F you to Warner Brothers. Is there evidence for this? Well, unfortunately, yes. Firstly, Cyborg was originally supposed to be the heart of Justice League, but Joss Whedon's reshoots reduced his role. There have even been allegations that Joss Whedon purposefully reduced or eliminated a bunch of Justice League roles played by actors of color. Fisher was also supposed to have a solo movie that's gone almost nowhere since 2014, and he was going to be in The Flash, with the movie changing hands so often that he's no longer a part of it. So he definitely has a reason to be disappointed, at least. It's also been reported that Ray Fisher released these allegations shortly after Warner Brothers offered him a cameo role in The Flash, and that he was angry about that. But let's look at Ray Fisher's side. Fisher claims that he has actually been compiling evidence against Whedon for 2.5 years. Also, there's been evidence of Warner Brothers trying to cover up Fisher's claims. On July 1st, the same day that Fisher made these allegations, Warner Brothers released news that Geoff Johns and John Berg were going to be producing a live-action Frosty the Snowman movie with Jason Momoa as the title character. It was revealed by Jason Momoa that he was not attached to any Frosty the Snowman project and that Warner Brothers had not even asked his permission to put his name on this fake news. He said that he also felt abuse on the set of Justice League, and he and Ray Fisher both thought that this was explicitly to cover up Fisher's accusations. Later, the same day Fisher announced that an investigation was being opened at Warner Brothers, Ben Affleck was announced to be returning as Batman in The Flash. Fisher claims that this was originally supposed to be announced at DC Fandom a few weeks later, and was announced early to keep his claims quiet. Now, here's the most confusing part. It was recently announced that there will be 1 to 2 weeks of reshoots for the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and that Ray Fisher would actually be returning for those shoots. Now, when I heard about this, a ton of things flashed through my mind all at once. Does this mean Warner Brothers and Ray Fisher are cool? Is Ray Fisher only returning because of Zack Snyder? Are Warner Brothers and Ray Fisher still at each other's throats but setting their differences aside to make the show? Well, maybe, but none of this has anything to do with Ray Fisher deciding to come back or not. When Ray Fisher signed on for Justice League, part of his contract was that if reshoots were to be done and he was requested to come back for them, he would. It doesn't matter what he or Warner Brothers thinks. So, general consensus? Well, I think that for the most part, Ray Fisher is in the right. But I think it's also very possible that some of these allegations are not driven by the good of the movie industry, but in pettiness. Overall, this entire ordeal comes across less as a righteous fight between an actor and a giant company, with an actor nobly laying his career on the line, and more like two children fighting on the playground. But that's just my opinion. So what do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and subscribe. I upload every single day. Bye.